Hey guys, welcome to Double KO Radio.
What's up, guys? This is episode 4, and
Yes.
we have been on kind of a 3-week hiatus. What was it like? What episode? This is
4.
I said that already.
It was post Evo was the last one.
Yeah. So long ago. So long ago.
Had a vacation.
We are back. We are live.
Yes.
From our illustrious studios in the South Bronx, and we are ready to talk about some Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
That's right.
How you been, David?
I've been good, man. We took a vacation from Evo. You know, we came from Vegas and.
Yeah, well, that 2-hour podcast just tapped us out. So I needed to go on vacation the next week.
We needed to reevaluate our lives after that.
And then our computer decided that it just didn't want to do it the next 2 weeks for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are back.
We're back and we're better.
I hope we're better. After reevaluating ourselves a couple times.
We're motivated now. We have a game that's going to motivate us, man.
You have a game that's going to motivate you. I don't know what I have yet. You haven't even pre-ordered it.
Let's see what we got. So...
Hold on. The
no
manager
send
me a text.
We got producers. He's tapping on the glass. Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, sorry. I gotta tell my manager to stop telling me to do stuff as I'm what's this called?
Podcasting.
Recording, casting. Yeah. See, because I've lost all train of thought. No matter what it is I get, I lose all train of thought when I get texted.
Like when that guy got into Chris G on stage and he lost all train of thought.
Yeah, that's it. All train of thought.
So look, MvCi, right? What do we got, right? It's a versus series, right?
Yes. And I will run down more or less a brief history of the franchise for the Versus series that Capcom started back in the early mid-90s.
So good.
So the first game that came out was in 1994 in Japanese arcades, and it was called X-Men Children of the Atom. I don't know if anybody remembers what X-Men are nowadays.
Or if they are there. This probably is blurred out.
Children of the Atom. But that game came out with 10 playable characters, 2 unplayable bosses, which was Juggernaut and Magneto, and a guest character in NRS fashion, which was Akuma.
So good.
So after that was Marvel Superheroes. It was released in 1995 with 13 playable characters, and this one had a gem system, like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, but in a weirder way. It's like you had like some characters had specific gems, and as you went on through the arcade mode, you picked up other gems from other characters until you get to the last boss, Thanos, which I think is playable if you unlock him in this game. And also
consoles only.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also Anita, if anybody remembers Darkstalkers, she was Donovan's companion.
Mm-hmm.
She was a hidden character, super tiny character, super adorable, and really weird choice of hidden character. After that was X-Men vs. Street Fighter, released in 1996. Had 16 initial characters with hidden character Akuma and hidden character last boss Apocalypse.
Which was amazing. Just to get hidden to him, you just have to go up in the character select screen without him showing, and you will appear. Like, what is this? So good.
This was the first installment of the series that they added a tag system within the cast. Still mainly X-Men so far. Like in the past 3 games I mentioned, it's been mainly X-Men. Even in the Marvel Superheroes one, there was a couple X-Men sprinkled in there. Next after that is Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, released in 1997 in arcades. This one boasts a 17-character roster. This one actually had palette swap hidden characters. So Blackheart had a Mephisto skin, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Spider-Man had an armored Spider-Man, and Captain America had a U.S. agent. Apocalypse got demoted into being a sub boss, and the Akuma got promoted into being Cyber Akuma, last boss. In arcade, in Japanese versions only, there was a character named Norimaru who was a gag character based off of a real life comedian named Noritake Kinashi from Japan.
I remember him. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Shoryuken with his head.
Yo, speaking of Shoryuken, hold on. Is this the game? Yes, it is the game. I don't know like if I were really paying attention back then, I'd be really upset because this character roster on Capcom side had like 5 Shotos.
Yes.
And who is it? Dan, Ken, Ryu, Sakura, Akuma.
And without Sakura was there also.
Was she? Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, I completely missed this. Yeah. Look, there was Dark Sakura. There was Mech Zangief actually for the first time, which is a version of Zangief that can't block and can't be stunned. Shadow Charlie Nash, and yeah, that was it. That was it. But it was still like just too many Shotos. So like good. Half the game is Shotos.
Throw them there all.
This is probably if you ask our friend Franco, this is probably his favorite game of all time, since he's a Ryu main, Ride or Die, or Akuma, whichever one. After that came out Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes, which is MvC1.
That's the origin.
Yes, this is a pretty big game. Initial character roster was only 15. Onslaught, which was the last boss of this game, was a hidden playable character. Roll from Mega Man was a hidden playable character. Tiny little character that didn't need to duck under projectiles. A cybernetic version of Chun-Li, which is Shadow Lady. A palette swap of Morgan, which was Lilith. And for Marvel side, there was Orange Hulk, Red Venom, and Gold War Machine. This installment of the series had special partner assists. Like they didn't really get into the actual characters being the assists yet. This had 20 assists that have some characters in them like from that would come into later iterations of the series. Like Arthur was a character assist. He's a playable character now. Who else do we got here? Sentinel was was actually a secret one. Cyclops, Thor. Literally all of like this one. It's like they've made Marvel vs. Capcom, but they made all of the X-Men assists. Cause they got Magneto, Psylocke, Rogue, Jubilee, Storm, Juggernaut, Iceman, Colossus. You know they had all those guys. Just be like, here you
still there.
Help out the main people, right? Then the big one. In 2000, this one actually came out in consoles a week or so after my birthday, I remember, because it was a birthday present for me.
Nice.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Age of New Heroes.
Wow, the best present ever.
So, basically, this game had a 56-man roster. And with all the games that I mentioned previous, Capcom just fucking threw them all in there, no matter what sprite it was. Yeah. From what game, all of the characters that were previously there were thrown into this version. This was the first game that went from 2v2 teams to 3v3 teams, and they added in a snapback mechanic, which is pretty cool.
Because put their hat backwards then.
Yes. Yes, they all like baseball and. Each character had 3 types of assists. Half of the cast actually had to be unlockable, which was pretty cool. Like games don't really do that nowadays.
With coins, yeah. With playing the game, will give you
playing the game will give you points, and then you unlock them.
So rare.
That's adds some replay value there.
So rare, right?
That's so nice. Pretty cool. You know what would be crazy if MvCi comes out like that? Like you load up the game, you're like, all right, let's start story mode. Oh shit! I gotta start with whatever 4 characters they have starting in the story mode.
Upset.
I wouldn't, cause then it'll make you. It'll be cool.
Play the game.
I gotta actually play the game instead of just going straight to training mode.
That's right.
New characters in this that were announced. That were
new to the series.
That were new to the series were from Marvel side was Marrow.
It's an X-Men character, right?
Bone Claw Wolverine. Yes, Marrow was an
Wait,
X-Men.
what?
Marrow was a mutant. I don't know if she was
Bone Claw.
Bone Claw Wolverine, completely new. Completely different character than regular Wolverine. Cable, which was one of my mains.
I'm sorry, you can have Wolverine, adamantium Wolverine, right? And then Bone Claw Wolverine, the same
totally
team?
different.
In the same team.
You can have them in the same team. I think, wasn't there like a code or something that you can have all three characters be the same one? There was, from Capcom side, they had new characters, Surfbot from the Mega Man series, right? Anacaris from Darkstalkers, Trombone from Mega Man, Hayato from Star Gladiator, Felicia from Darkstalkers, Jill Valentine, which she still looks cool.
So awesome.
I saw recent footage with her in it. I was like, oh, she's like ducking the dogs and jumping over the zombies and all that stuff. And actually, this is something I didn't remember, but I thought it was really interesting that for this game, Capcom decided to create characters for the game. Like Ruby Hart, she's technically the protagonist of this game, and she was created for this game specifically. Like, she has some tie-in or whatever to some other pirate game that her sister's in or something. Lore-wise, there's some weird shit going on there, but she's technically supposed to be the protagonist of this game. Like, they're using her boat to go to Abyss, which is the final boss, which is also created for this game.
I didn't even know that. That boat I seen, I didn't know it was part of that. That's crazy.
Sun the third is the granddaughter of the actual Monkey King that's from that story, Journey to the East or West or whatever. So she was created for the game, and Amingo was created for the game. He didn't come from anywhere else. It's funny, too, because when I was like... When you're younger, you're going, where is this guy from? Some Japanese game that didn't make it to this... To the States, right? Probably. Who cares? He doesn't look that cool to me anyway, but he was actually created for this game. So I thought that was really interesting because I just didn't think Capcom would do that.
How many characters were created? 6? 7?
For this game? 4.
Okay.
Four regular characters and the final boss, so 5. Gotcha. Well, actually in MvCi now, Ultron Sigma is like a new character, right?
It could be. It could be Bone Wolverine.
And the what are those in the story mode, in the story
robots?
demo? Those little jobber robot things.
Jabberwocky robots.
Those are new, right?
They're 100% new.
We'll probably see more new little
DLC
characters that hopefully aren't a part of the roster later on in the game. Let's see. So let's fast forward all the way to February 2011.
Our birthday.
And we get Marvel vs. Capcom 3: Fate of Two Worlds. All right, with the DLC, because this is the first one that had DLC. It had 2 DLC characters, a new version of Jill Valentine, and they had Shuma Gorath. That made the tally up to 40 playable characters. The final boss was Galactus, who was unplayable. And you actually still had unlockable characters, which I completely forgot. Akuma was unlockable. Sentinel, Taskmaster, and Cienko from Darkstalkers was unlockable.
Wait, how do you unlock it?
You play the game. It's basically, I think you could unlock all of them with points if you beat it like 3-4 times.
Okay. Wow.
I don't remember that at all.
Either.
I don't remember that at all. What? So this game had a gallery mode too. Do you remember?
I remember a comic book.
I'm bringing this up because I don't know if MvCi has any kind of artwork for it, right? So this had a gallery mode. This had a mission. This is the first one that had a mission mode for characters to kind of get a feel for what they're capable of.
So like a training?
In terms of combo. Yeah.
Okay.
They had the infamous X Factor came in as a mechanic. Team Mario combos came in as a mechanic. And delayed hyper combos came in as a mechanic. So X Factor, TACs, and DACs. And in all of the endings, I don't know if you remember, there was like all the cameos for X-Men, not X-Men, sorry. Am I allowed to keep saying that?
They were still there.
Okay,
they were still present.
there? Okay.
They were still present.
They had a lot of cameos from Marvel characters and Capcom characters in all of the character endings. Enough to feel like that could be its own separate game. That's how many characters had cool cameos. It was cool. Like, I forgot how many cool things this game had because it had such a negative kind of, I don't know, taste in people's mouths.
Yeah.
So, the new additions to the game actually were Chris Redfield, Dante, Trish, Amaterasu, Beautiful Joe, Wesker, Arthur, Spencer, Zero, and Sea Viper from Capcom. And from Marvel, it was Deadpool, Super Skrull, Thor, Dormammu, X-23, MODOK, and She-Hulk coming into the series for the first time.
What about Hagar?
Hagar, did I miss him? I think he came out. Did he come out in the expansion, or was he there in the first one?
In the first one.
Yeah. Okay. I missed him then.
No worries. Yeah.
Yeah, missed the mayor.
Yeah, mayor, man.
So.
That's a lot of characters.
Really cool. Yeah.
That's a lot. Now you saying it now, it really hit him in my head. Like,
yeah, a lot of new characters to the series. Like, I was looking at the roster, and I was going, I don't know what's going on, but I feel like this is a good roster that I'm looking at in the screen.
It feels good.
I want to play this game again. So, all right. So weird licensing issues. Weird stuff between Capcom and Marvel were happening that year. So what Capcom ended up doing was rushing out another version, kind of an expansion of the same game, 6 months after the release of the original Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which gave them a lot of pushback from the community because it's just like, dude, we just bought this game.
Literally.
What the fuck, you know? But at least it came out with 12 new characters, 8 new stages, and 3 new modes. If you could call them 3 new modes. I call it 1 new mode, and because they said 3 new modes, but it's just like, you can play with Galactus in arcade.
Yeah, that's cool. That's new.
Spectator, you can be a spectator in an online lobby now.
You can be there. You go.
With the shitty internet. One thing I did notice that I thought was really interesting, out of the 12 characters that were added for UMVC, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, 8 of them are in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. So, Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider technically confirmed with the cover art recently shown in a comic book. Hawkeye, Nova, Rocket Raccoon, Firebrand, Frank West, Nemesis. Like, all of those guys were added in at the end, and now they're in this game.
Frank West was in Ultimate?
Yeah. He came in for Ultimate. So, the ones that didn't make it in that came in for Ultimate was Iron Fist, Phoenix Wright, Strider, and Virgil.
Strider, yeah.
Yeah. So. Oh, wait, but Strider's in it, so that's another character. Strider's in Infinite, yeah. So, yeah, I thought that was really interesting. It's a lot of characters, dude.
Dude,
it feels like a lot of games.
You mentioned that right now, it really hit me. I was like, wow, it really had all these new characters?
Yeah.
No way. So you're telling me they released a game with 56, 57 characters prior, and they still had new characters to bring?
Yeah, new enough to bring up
cast.
to like 52 characters. 52 characters, and a lot of them were still new to the series.
That's good. That's very good.
It feels, I mean, like, even though a lot of the characters were technically old school, it feels really progressive for...
Yeah, but they're new to the series, right? So you never play them as in this iteration. Maybe you play them in their own game.
Yeah.
But you never got a chance to play them here. And that's amazing, because that brings people that don't even play that game, right? They will be like, oh, my character's there. I want to play him or whatever, you know? I want to be Wesker.
I want to be an X-Man.
You can still do that. And you can do that.
That's all I got. That's where we're at. That's where we're at.
And now what? And
now, last year in November, there were a lot of leaks leading up to an event called PlayStation Experience / the Capcom Cup 2016, which all happened in one weekend. There was a lot of rumors about, you know, like there was like a poster that came out that had a number 4 that said like, you know,
a lot of leaks.
Yeah, there was like a lot of fake stuff, but it was still like somebody was telling the truth, because what's the reason for so much of that stuff in such shorter time being put on the internet by random people, random blogs
to create
like they even had last year in November they were saying there's gonna be no X-Men, it's gonna be 2v2, there's gonna be Ant-Man Groot, and you know, like
some of the stuff
some of that stuff was actually things that
it's like playing 2 lies and 1 truth or some stuff like that. That's crazy.
Exactly.
But with our soul. I have a funny story about the Versus series. I literally grew up playing them, right? I remember going to middle school, skipping school. Don't do that, stay in school. And going to the nearest arcade just to play X-Men vs. Street Fighter first, right? And then Marvel Superhero when it came out was incredible, right? But then they have Marvel Superhero vs. Street Fighter. And I was like, this cannot get better. This is impossible to get better, right? We already have Children of the Atom, which was great. But I was a little bit younger when that game came. But when X-Men vs. Street Fighter came, was the clash of the clash. I was like, yo, I watch X-Men every day in the TV. Yes! Every day I could play against
Were you pressing the buttons while singing that song in your head?
While beating people, yes. With Cyclops. And that game was full of cameos, like you mentioned. A lot of background characters, you know, they would show from other games. And it felt alive. And it was really fun for me. And then Marvel Super Heroes Street Fighter, I felt like it was like the hypest of them. Because the announcer was crazy there. The announcer was super hype with you. He will mention any super that they beat you with. He will pronounce it however he can.
David, you're doing really good.
Yeah, and it was so good. And it had a lot of energy, that game. That game had... And it felt, for me, it felt like, okay, this was the end of it. You know, they already have X-Men. They had them together. Now they had something more together, and that's it. What else they gonna... In that game, they had a mode that you can, you know, bring both characters and do a super together. You know, it was cool.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, I forgot about that.
And they had those secret characters that you mentioned. Some of them have special qualities, like the armor Spider-Man will have special armor.
Yes.
You needed 2 hits to hit him, but he will be slower when he jumps.
Yes.
And it was cool.
And like I mentioned, like the Shadow Chun-Li, she technically had faster moves.
Yeah.
Like the Shadow Charlie, what was his name?
And it was Shadow, and then
just Shadow. Like he had faster startup on his moves, like just little things like that. But it was still like, I honestly like if something like that, it gives you good nostalgia over the game, right? But if something like that, God forbid, Capcom released with now, people would lose their shit. Why do we get a Shadow Chris with like slightly different moves? Thanks a lot, Capcom.
Wait. I'm gonna get that more later, but why don't we get a Shadow Chris when we could get Leon?
Where's Leon? Why does... Oh, maybe you could give Shadow... Like, you could do Shadow Chris, right? You can't really see him, but he has Leon's silhouette. Just to fucking fuck people. Like, that just gets so angry.
Leon's voice line. But, so, that game for me was like the pinnacle, right? And I played it a lot. Like, I played it on the Sega Saturn. I had it on the Sega Saturn. I had to import. The game I had to import. I remember my brother paid like $90 something to play an import.
Actually, like I didn't notice that my friend Julian had an import. He must have, because I played with the version of the one that had the Norimaru guy.
The import.
Yeah, so like I was like, he used to hate all the time that I used to call him that because he looks just like him. Like, I'm just gonna say it like that in case he's listening, just like him.
We're probably gonna see a comment about him.
So, you know, like he honestly, like the guy I just mentioned, my friend Julian, he's the only friend that really saw fighting games in the same light that I did. Like, we could play it all the time. Me and him were technically like rivals, I guess, because he'd be the one other guy I'd get to play that was interested in fighting games that often. Yep. So
it's like me and Robo. Like Robo, one of my best friends from Puerto Rico. We play every game together. You know, we went to school together. Everything we play, and we'll play at there when we skip school, and then we go home and play everywhere, right? So Marvel Super Hero, we played it a lot, and there was a lot of different things that was happening. But when Marvel vs. Capcom came out, with the most hypest intro ever, with the song, you know, whatever that person said, and whatever she says, and you will literally go to the arcades and you will hear that, and it's impossible that your neck will not turn, you know, and you will want to run there and play it.
Was it the one with the female announcer?
Let's go crazy.
Let's go crazy.
And I went crazy. I listened. And yeah, it was incredible. And then I saw all this stuff, but then I was like, oh, where's all these characters because Marvel Capcom doesn't have a big character list. How many had? Did you read?
Which one? The regular one?
Regular MvC.
I think like 15 characters more or less.
I think
without the skin.
Yeah, without the
palette swap.
Which is not much coming from, from all the Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All these different characters, and then you had assists those assists like you mentioned it's not like you could use them always. Some of them you can only use them twice.
Yeah.
And in that game had a mechanic that you could press certain buttons to get the assist that you needed. Like if you press, let's say, light punch to hard punch and light kick, you will get Sentinel, and Sentinel will be a great assist.
Yeah.
So there was some competitive stuff in there. There was so many hidden secrets in there. A lot of win pulses were coming. I was insane. That game was like.
I think I had that game when it came. That one specifically I had for the Dreamcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just pressing buttons.
That was the game that I first did on Infinite, and I found out about doing an Infinite was with Chun taking you out of the stage.
Oh, that's
and
crazy.
That was the most trolly thing to do ever. And people being upset, thinking, "Oh, you're cheating." But it was so rewarding. I remember spending. I don't know how I got this money, but I spending so many quarters playing this game, and I didn't have a job. Where did I got these quarters?
You just didn't eat. That's why you're so skinny now, bro.
And I played that game very, very religiously. But when Marvel Capcom 2 came out, dude, around my birthday, which it was incredible. Marvel Capcom 2 was by February, or was Marvel Capcom 1?
No, it must have been.
No, Marvel Capcom 3 came out by my birthday. Sorry, not Marvel Capcom
3 was your birthday.
2 I got it by Dreamcast. I got that game, and that's when I really started competitive. Actually, my competitive versus series was in Marvel 2.
Who was your team?
My team back then, I used to use Strider, Doom, Blackheart.
But I didn't hear Cyclops in any of those 3 characters.
No, I didn't. Strider, Doom, Blackheart was my team.
Why didn't you use Dormammu, Doom, Strider in Marvel's Capcom 3?
Because they don't play the same. And I remember a fun story, really short. I used to be, I thought I was really good because in Puerto Rico I was to play, and it's very a small competitive scene, but it means we were playing a lot. And then when I travel here to New York, just to travel, family visiting, they took me to these arcades in 42nd in Times Square called Broadway Arcades. And I was like, yo, I'm the shit. I'm the shit.
Yeah.
I could beat anybody. And I got my ass handed, like destroyed. And I'm like, what happened?
It's funny because I think I might have came across that place when there was heavy construction going on. Like, for the first time ever, too, I'm like crossing some street in 42nd, and I just happen to look inside, like, all this construction going on, and then there's, like, this little hidden cave into, like, this, like, a bunch of dudes in arcades. I'm like, oh, shit, this is here?
You need to have a card.
Yeah, so I went in there. I didn't even play, because it was not like I had, like, money on me to play or whatever. It was just, like, I think I might have just been skating past or something like that. So I just stepped in to play, and, dudes were doing shit I would never think of, and I was like, holy crap. Yeah. There are a lot of good people here. These guys are fucking losers. And then I left.
So I got my ass handed, and I was so upset that I remember I still had it on Dreamcast, so I brought my Dreamcast, right? Here in New York, because of course that's what you travel with. You gotta travel with your Dreamcast and Marvel Capcom too. And that inspired me to play so much more that I was looking for, every time I would go to Broadway Arcade, to look for that guy. I remember he was a really tall guy, and I was a kid though anyway. So anybody was taller than me. So I play, and I found him, and I play him, and I actually played Blackheart, which is a really different character than most of the others. And I beat him. I remember I beat him. And I was like, yes, motherfucker, beat you. And he gave me a compliment, that's a good game, whatever.
Like, nice hair.
And then he told me, and this is nice hair, he told me, oh, you go to Chinatown? And I was like, no. I was like, no, I'm here visiting. He was like, oh, you should pass by.
Did he wear glasses and do the anime?
No, he
glasses?
He could have. He probably was salty because I beat him. He was like, "No, go there so he could beat you."
Go there so people could kick your ass.
Yep. And then and that was when I mentioned in my other previous podcast that's when I literally went on my most competitive streak. But that was basically the open doors. Marvel Capcom 2 was the one that really got me out there, man. And then we got Marvel 3, which he was our producer.
That's actually
got us the game.
Yeah, that's actually the one that you forced me to get into. Because, I remember I was, like, more of a Street Fighter kind of person. Like, anytime I played these games, I was just like, I'd have fun with it for a little while, but then I didn't really get deep into like the mechanics or
Then I
anything
will
like
ask you,
that.
when's Marvel?
And then I'd be like,
Never. Never.
like if it's like force feeding me vegetables every time you try to make me play the game. But then like eventually I got used to it. And,
Yeah.
You know.
It just was incredible, the experience too, and even thought it was different to break from so many years playing Marvel 2, right? Because it was a lot of years until it came out, Marvel 3.
Yeah. Like 10 years.
It felt what it needed to be, which it was refreshing. It was new. It felt a great direction. It felt good. You could feel the artistic way. It felt good. It might not be the best game ever, don't get me wrong. It had a lot of flaws, but it was good enough for that time.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 4 was there also, with Street Fighter X Tekken coming out, but Marvel 3 came up, and he was there reigning supreme. It was great. It's a shame that 6 months later, and we were talking about that too, we were upset, and we're still upset buying it anyway.
Yeah, like it was a pissed off face. Gotta buy this game. Have to buy it.
Half the price too, $39.99.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whatever. But yeah, so basically even though I play Street Fighter most of my life, Marvel is what made me into most fighting games, my skills and everything. So
honestly, you haven't been as interested in any fighting games since then.
No.
Since Marvel, you haven't been as well. You know, you're older now, whatever.
But I'll tell you why though, and this is not to deviate a little bit more from the topic. The Street Fighter took my soul, Street Fighter 5, but we're not gonna get there.
You barely played that game.
That's why.
You barely play that game. You're gonna help me out with 60.
Scar.
You're gonna help me out with 60 wins this month.
That sounds like a punishment. That sounds like a punishment. We're talking about and now September is when it comes out, right? MvCi.
September in the teens, like 19,
18,
something
19.
like. Something
So speaking
like
about that one now, first reveal trailer when they announced that. Did you mention it to me? Did we saw it the same time, the trailer, the first reveal trailer? I think you told me.
I don't know, but I know I was excited.
I was
super
dude,
like.
How can I not be
There's
hyped?
no way, no way. Cause like before that, we already knew like the licensing thing. Marvel was already like going in a different direction. They had that, what was it, Clash of Champions game or
that mobile game?
Whatever the mobile game was. I remember when I first showed you, I was like, look, dude, this is why Marvel doesn't exist anymore.
Every time you remind me of that crap. Every freaking time, dude. I remember.
And then I think earlier in that summer, I heard there were I think it was it the same time that Disney bought Marvel? Or?
There was a lot of changes during that time.
And they had mentioned that they were changing their whole video gaming structure for their games.
Yep.
Like they were mainly talking about the Star Wars stuff, but you know, a lot more stuff. That's what started giving people hope that it was like maybe there's a chance.
And we got picked. And they did, and we got super excited.
Yeah.
I remember that trailer. It might not be once again the best trailer, but for me, it was the announcement I needed.
It was still super. You know what it reminded me of? Like X's feet, right? Mega Man X's feet, because that's what the trailer starts with, him walking, right? Reminded me of the Street Fighter X Tekken first trailer when it was just like you're seeing Kazuya's feet, and you're like, wait, those feet look really familiar. Is that? Oh no, wait, but that's like Ryu there. It can't be. It is. Oh! And then we just went. We were just. I can't even explain. No. I can't put it to words.
It was if you look back at that trailer is very shitty. It's really bad graphics. It's horrible, but it was hype as hell.
Yes,
because it is the announcement that people wanted. It was at the right time. It was good.
And I guess that's. I mean, we always kind of everybody has their own opinion on how Capcom does things when it comes to revealing things, but that was definitely one of those moments where nobody knew that was coming.
Never.
And because of that added to the hype.
Nobody was ready.
There wasn't like a couple weeks ago, people started going, hey, there's going to be Tekken characters in Street Fighter. You know, like stuff like that. It was just like, boom, here. And I think that's what Capcom wants to keep having for their stuff. It's just, unfortunately, they have a mole. They have a spy amongst their... like if there was an internet, if it was like Russia and Germany or whatever, like one of those guys.
God. We're not saying they're all spies, guys.
One of those guys is an American in the mix. He's just really good at impersonating a Soviet like soldier or whatever, like It just feels like
Dragunov.
yes, Dragonov is in there, and he's actually from Texas. I don't know.
Um, the first reveal was in December, dude. The first reveal of Marvel.
Yeah, at the PSX
Mhm.
experience.
December 3rd, right? 2016, the first reveal. People went a lot of speculation, a lot of things. People, a lot of hopes. It gave hope. It gave disappointment. It gave everything, right? But it still was happening. It doesn't matter what you said or you could talk about it. It still was happening.
That I think that's the hypest part, that it was actually
Yeah.
happening.
And with that, there was some feedback and some good and bad. And then once again, when you have something so anticipated, it's so delicate, right? Everybody wants it. Everybody wants it to be amazing. So even the slightest thing that doesn't fit, it becomes a big issue, right?
Yeah.
And we had our big issues, and the biggest issue for that normally is the characters, right? So with that announcement first, the first one, everybody was happy. Everybody was positive about it. They were not talking about much about how the game looked, because it was a big change, this game, how it looks compared to the other very cartoony,
And even when that was released, people complained about that.
Yeah.
They were like, "Whoa, what's all this weird
colors,
all these blacks and?"
I said it. I said it. Why every ability is yellow or fire? Remember?
Yeah.
I said it. I was like, everything is
Yeah,
yellow
everybody.
or fire.
But that's the thing. Everybody has their own opinion till they just get used to it, and nobody said anything about it. And now there's plenty of people going, "Why couldn't it just stay like that?"
Best game ever. Multiple talks about that. So some of the stuff of the reaction, just to give you an insight of that, everybody, and I include myself, was extremely happy about Mega Man X being in the game. Finally, a representation of X that is him.
Remember, we talk a lot about this
Of
shit.
course.
That's why we're doing a podcast. Years ago we had mentioned, like, we both wanted it and agreed that if the Mega Man, because people were mad that Mega Man wasn't in Marvel vs. Capcom 3,
Yep.
but we were like, if there's a Mega Man coming out, I want it to be X. Usually I'm pretty like, I want the most updated stuff.
Yeah.
When, like, I know, like, comic book fans, like how I complain about how comic book fans want Venom, but it's just like, but there's like billion Venoms now, right? Which one are we gonna get? Can we get I want to see the updated one. I want to see a different version of Venom than there was in the 90s.
Yeah,
I want to
people
see.
can relate to that or something.
Yeah.
Because before, like you mentioned, so people like Mega Man. Mega Man is such a famous character. In Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2, there was classic Mega Man. And he had his classic move, which is great. But I was tired of it. I'm sick of it, to be honest. And I play Mega Man all my
honestly,
life. I'm a Mega Man fan.
He almost played like a Shoto too, right?
Almost, yeah. He had Dragon
Almost.
Ball, he has Hadoukens and all that stuff. And then they did some very upsetting things on Ultimate Marvel, that they had a DLC skin for Zero dressed as Mega Man.
That's godlike. What are you talking about? That's one of the most godlike trolls ever. And they had Frank West in a Mega Man outfit.
So moving on. So it's definitely not what the fans wanted, but yes, they still give him that. So now having physically, X is here. That's it. It's happening. X is here, and that created more into the hype train. But then something happened. The trailer finished, and not even a single mutant was spotted.
Well, to be fair, barely any characters were spotted.
In the first trailer.
In the first trailer.
In the first trailer, but given the history of every single thing in every
Yeah,
single
you'd expect
one of them,
Wolverine to be there.
yes. Well, in the first Marvel vs. Capcom trailer, Wolverine and Rio fighting. In the first X-Men Clash, Cyclops and Rio.
A really iconic handshake.
Classic Sylvester Stallone and Rocky with Apollo, green. Yeah, so there's always that representation. Once again, that was the most iconic thing back then, though. So it makes sense why it's not here now, right? But people wanted that. They wanted, hey, I want X-Men. There's no X-Men. They're already starting feeling up a little bit ill. And they saw, hey, where's my characters? There's no Leon. They saw Chris, but they didn't saw Leon. They were like, Chris looks the same. Where's Leon? So they start looking for these comparisons. That was in the first trailer.
And you know what I think it is, too? For the people that... Because this doesn't make sense that... I know Capcom knows what people want, because in the last game...
I'm gonna super disagree with you.
No, wait. Hold on. I'm saying they should.
Oh, they should.
I'm saying they should.
Oh, okay, yes. 100% agree with you. Sorry.
They should, because in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, a lot of people voiced their opinions on what characters would be cool to be in a game or be in a versus series, especially from Capcom's side, like Capcom's characters. And here, lo and behold, here's a brand new game, and they're getting not the most popular choices that were asked for before for this series. You know,
before
what I mean?
the series even was thought about.
Yes.
Absolutely, I agree. So Leon came in right away, right? So then 5 days later after that, 6 days later after that, the extended gameplay trailer. Because the first one was like a little tease, some stuff just to get you completely hyped. In the extended gameplay trailer, now showing some characters with names, a little bit of UI, you could see some stuff. They actually released that trailer twice, thinking, hey, Capcom's, hey, it's the new trailer. And people were like in Twitter, yo,
Oh yeah, that was
you
the like
released
2 months later.
that.
Ono's like, hey, look, check this out. Oops.
You released this, so whatever. But people still, some people were happy about it, some people were not. They could see a little bit more about the game, but then once again the critique was like, where are the X-Men? Immediately, that's the first critique. And then they started going with like, where's Star-Lord with other characters? But generally, people were not impressed.
I have something to say about that where Star-Lord shit
We're gonna
for
get
the end.
We definitely get there. But people eventually were not impressed. If you look for the comments or the forums, they were literally not impressed and actually slightly disappointed at it. I bet the artistic way they went about it. It's just they said that it looks last gen, and that's not a compliment. Saying that it looks like last gen is not a compliment. And the visual styles and everything else. Then April 25th of 2017 was the first story trailer to tell you more about the game. This is what the game is gonna have an actual story. You want a story, right? We mentioned Street Fighter V. You want a story, so we give you a story here. Just to tie in all the cinematic of all these characters happening and why they're there. And that's when people went nuts.
Well, yeah, because then they officially announced who the antagonist for this series is gonna be. Well, for the game is gonna be, which was Sigma and Ultron.
Which leads to that they also announced there that they were DLCs.
Well, they announced that Sigma was a DLC.
Yes, which is one of the main villains of the game, and they announced him that he was a DLC, not part of the roster. So downloadable content for those that don't know. And immediately people were upset already. Announcement about a DLC of games that is not yet out. People wanting Leon again. No X-Men sighting. It looks like a mobile game. One of the comments.
A lot of people thought that. A lot of people.
And once again, not a good compliment, right? A lot of people are like, yeah, it's happening, but those positive are getting overflooded by the bad things. And once again, the DLC was the nail on the coffin that was like, wow, why are you announcing DLCs already? Do you have the game? You just announced the story. Do you even have a finished game? He's part of the main story, so why can't I play him?
How's the main antagonist not just gonna be there?
So technically, Ultron cannot access him in my game if I don't have him, right?
Ultron needs to. I think Ultron paid the DLC for Sigma already, so he could.
He had a hack to download it. He had a hack. Then after that, a couple of days later, which is actually 2 days later, the second gameplay trailer, and these were very harsh. Now we became from we maybe given a chance to now fully violent critiques, harsh critiques. But then one positive critique: the game graphics will improve at launch. Most people are saying, "Hey, this game is early in development," and they didn't have a release date yet. So they said it was fall, but they didn't have a release date yet. But when they showed the release date of theirs, September 18th, that's when people were like, "Whoa, this is not changing." That was like that reality check.
Yeah, there was like, "Whoa, they can't fix everything we've been complaining about in that little bit of time."
Yeah, which leads to two things. Either they're gonna release this game, they're gonna do again and release another game like how they did with Ultimate, which is alarming, or this is the game they're gonna get. And they were not happy about if this is the game they were gonna get. Interesting picks though, picks for characters. They were saying they wanted like Rashid. You mentioned Rashid.
Yeah.
Actually, Nero from Devil May Cry, Taskmaster Guile or Asura, which is my number one pick to be honest. But they mentioned about the stiff animation and terrible voice acting, which is the animation of Chun-Li, the faces, Dante looking like a drug addict, and the voice that they're not consistent. You showed me today about Captain America having two voices.
Yeah,
he has a split personality, and then he goes into Captain America / Batman. Yeah. If you don't see it, I played the story demo. You guys will see what we're talking about. And just to end it, right, the last gameplay trailer, which is on June 13th. Completely, that's it. They're completely discouraged. There's no X-Men coming. They have accepted it. There's no X-Men. But just because I accepted it, they're still upset about it. This is prior to this trailer of the Spider-Man that came right after. So people were asking for Spider-Man.
Did E3 happen yet on this trailer?
Yes.
So
they didn't have Spider-Man yet.
So the big thing that happened too, so people know, as soon as Dragon Ball Fighter Z had an official trailer, that amplified tenfold, like how the presentation of MvCi was compared to how DBZ, DBFZ or whatever looked at, looks at the time. Like you're seeing all this real polished animation, bright colors, everything's clear, and there's so much nostalgia in it. And then you're getting and then people come back to the other game that now has a competitor in the versus
Series.
like series thing, and now people are almost feel because the FGC, the fighting game community, they're all competitive. They're all competitive.
Mm-hmm.
So they're even competitive within each other.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a split now where people are like, fuck this game, fuck Capcom, because they kind of fucked us on Street Fighter V. They kind of fucked us on Street Fighter X Tekken. How is this game going to be any different?
Yeah.
So, and now you're getting Arc Systems
Making
/ Bandai
Namco.
I can't say
that game.
I can't say that name. I'm just gonna say one, Bamco, with Bamco, and shut up. And they don't have a bad track record with their community, so it's a really big split. Like it's almost like having an almost like an abusive relationship with Capcom, and it's almost like, you know what?
Somebody's
this is the last one. If this doesn't work out on launch, I'm divorcing you, mother.
I'm going to straight to because you have enough time based on the release date.
Yeah,
right? You have enough time. And people were saying that it looked rushed, and I 100% agree.
It is rushed. Like people say it looks rushed. I 100% believe it is rushed. It is a rushed product.
Absolutely, and it's sad, right? Because the idea of rushing the game is because people want it, but delivering something that people don't want is an oxymoron, right? And that's what is happening, right? And now we have a new announcement, which was it's gonna be on Gamescom, which is happening soon. I forgot the date. I'm sorry. But they're gonna announce new stuff, more information about their 2 new characters, and announce like Dormammu and Firebrand.
So for people that don't know, there's a promotion going on that Marvel's doing for the game that has several comics throughout their string of comics that are still being released throughout the summer. They're gonna have special covers saying the game's name, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. It's on there on the cover, and it has usually a mashup of 2 different characters that are in the game. Yeah. So based off of the last character that was, I can't remember which comic it was, but there was Dormammu versus Firebrand on the cover.
Yep.
Based off of that, there's like, it's not like there's one. It's like the comic isn't a Dormammu comic, and the 2 characters, like aren't in it at all. Yeah. So it's just like, all right, well, these 2 obviously are gonna be the next ones, and they actually, I forgot if it was a tweet or whatever. Somebody tweeted that confirming that we will see them at Gamescom.
Capcom tweeted, "Hey, stay tuned for our next showing at Gamescom with our newly presented character."
What I'm hoping for that build is that they actually show Jeddah, which was showcased. He was showcased at Evo.
Mm-hmm.
With Combo Fina and Filipino Champ playing a set, but he's had no real announcement trailer. Like the week after that, San Diego Comic-Con, which is the trailer you mentioned, they announced more returning characters from UMVC, which was Hagar, Frank West. Spider-Man was finally officially announced.
People were showing Gamora too.
And Gamora and people and Nemesis. But people were getting nervous about the Spider-Man thing. It's just like, come on, man, it's Spider-Man. He's gonna be there. There's no reason for him not to be there. But he was like, but he hasn't been announced. And then they're like, all right, here, fucking have some Spider-Man.
Yes, and people liked it.
Yeah.
Everything has been great about it, and the fact that he feels new, at least from what he does. I think it was great. I think it was a great showing. It's a bad reveal though.
You know what would have been a good reveal? It would have been probably a little too early. I don't know if Spider-Man was ready at the time. But if the trailer was shown right before the movie trailers before Homecoming Spider-Man movie.
That would have been great.
So that, all those parents, getting their little kids into those theaters, and the kids going, "I want to be Spider-Man in that game, mommy."
Or in the movies, right? Like
Yeah,
after
and
the
they
trailer,
like
the trailer before the movie starts.
Yes.
That would be fantastic. I'm just telling you, I'm a fan when they show gaming trailers in movies because I know more than 90% of this.
Oh
Like,
my god. Yeah. Elitist reasons.
Yeah, I'm pushing my glasses with salt from the popcorn that I don't like. But yeah, so that's the next announcement for them, and that is the one that I think that's it because after that announcement,
What else?
they only have 2 more weeks. Like 3 more weeks after that.
I mean, we got what, like 5 weeks till it comes out total anyway. So whatever
But
it
there's
is,
no big
whatever it
giveaways.
is they're gonna show us, it's like 99% surely gonna be all they're gonna show us, and that's it.
And we have to accept that this is the game we're getting.
Yes.
And we have to, and then everybody has to accept that's the game we're getting. And that's fine, but that has been what the people have been seeing and saying, which is worse feedback than what the Abigail trailer for Street Fighter V got.
But the thing is, like as bad feedback as the Abigail trailer got, he's been the hypest character.
Oh yeah, that's why I said trailer.
Yeah,
because
the community's
the character has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, that the community's really started doing a lot of content for.
Oh, absolutely.
Afterward, like way more than Colleen, way more than Ed. Abigail's been all over the place.
I haven't heard many negative anymore. Actually, more content, like you said, actually pushing for the character.
Yeah.
And everybody being positive about it, yeah. Speaking about those announcements, what do you think will be a good announcement that MvCi can do now after this?
Well, I would like and hope that people are wrong about what's gonna be DLC,
and it's not a game.
and I hope that like DLC, Sigma already confirmed. Black Panther was already confirmed a long time ago that he's DLC. That's 2.
You're talking about the last leaked characters that we're looking for.
Yes,
okay.
I'm hoping like the lead characters like Winter Soldier,
yep.
Venom, Monster Hunter, like.
Don't you mention that, please.
I'm hoping those aren't DLC. I'm hoping they're just added into the game right at the end, like just fucking tossed in there. Stop looking at me like that.
Because you know that Capcom can't do that.
Shut up. It's possible, right?
Okay. So you want that leak roster to be real and then have 6 more? That'll be a great surprise because remember, in the trailers and all the trailers, you're not sure if you guys seen them, it says if you pre-order the game, you get these characters plus 6. One of the 6
you get
characters.
A character pass, yeah.
Correct, out of the 6 characters, which is 2 of them already been confirmed, which is Sigma and Black Panther. Right, so we have 4 characters, right? Left?
4,
sorry,
yeah.
Math, sorry.
Can we start calling Black Panther Wolverine function? What?
Okay,
we didn't talk about the functions.
I was gonna say Black Wolverine.
No, that doesn't sound right. Bone Wolverine is fine. Black Wolverine just sounds like too racist for some reason. Anyway.
But yeah, so you're saying that you want to expect to be those characters now be fully incorporated in the launch roster, and then have 6 more characters.
Yeah, because then that'll up the roster, like the numbers of the roster. People will be getting more than they expected for their money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Instead of going, well, I got, what is it, like 28 characters, 30 characters, and now there's this paywall to get the rest. It's...
I think that would be fantastic because think about this, right? Not only you pleasing the fans, this was supposed to be DLC, and it's going to give so much to talk. So who's going to be the 6 characters? And they don't have to rush for them because they're DLC. They can release them whenever they feel like it. And they have time to work about it. They can do polls. Whatever it is, it works in their favor instead of just rushing anything.
Yeah.
Which, once again, it will be a wish come true. But let's see.
Well, one thing, like, this has bugged me ever since I heard about it. Like, the Sigma thing, right?
Which part of Sigma?
Technically, he's supposed to be, like, available.
Yeah.
As soon as the game...
He's in the disc.
Yeah,
so
he's there.
With Black Panther, he's in the disc.
Now, I think, like, what Namco did with Tekken 7,
okay,
which is for people who have the Day 1 edition or pre-ordered the game, you get Eliza for free.
Okay. Eliza's a DLC character.
Eliza's a DLC character.
Okay.
I don't understand why they're not doing that with Sigma.
So you wouldn't have to. So technically, if you buy the game on the day one edition, like regular price, that will be the game on that time frame, you get an extra character for free.
Yeah, like you get a code to buy the
Correct.
guy that.
But you don't have to do nothing else than to buy that version of the game without
Yeah,
paying
and
more
then-
than what it is.
Yes, that would be nice. I think that makes sense. It's like you it feels less scumbaggy. You know what I mean? Like
Sleazy.
it feels less sleazy because you're like, but dude, he's a part of the main story and he's available the first day. Why can't I just have him?
Yes. Like why am I getting punished for this?
Yeah, why do I have to pay extra for him? What did I do? I'm already buying your rushed ass fucking game.
Yeah. So technically, I'm supporting you for getting it because technically, if things are the DLCs are not done, then I could just wait for all the DLCs done and then maybe buy the game because then I can see what I'm getting. Right?
Yeah.
That would be an idea that would definitely hurt. I know that's not gonna happen. A lot of people are gonna get their hands day one on this because they want the people like to hate. People love to hate and they want to get it for that same reason too. And Capcom wins in that.
Unfortunately for Capcom, they kind of the way these games are set up, right? There's a huge legacy behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, there's just so many characters and things you could put into this game that nobody's gonna be happy. Trust me, dude. Like, there's been so many comments I've seen in so many threads where people are like, well, this game would be good, but you need to put Cammy in there.
Yeah.
It's not a game if you don't have Cammy. And then I'm thinking, like, who the fuck wants Cammy?
Yeah.
And then, like, there's other people, like, that are like, well, you need the Fantastic Four, and I'm like, in my own personal opinion, the Fantastic Four is kind of lame. Like, whether they're like they have amazing powers or some characters are amazing, whatever. Again, I would like put the guy's son. I heard the guy's son is
incredible.
OP.
Or put Super Scroll.
Or put Super
That was
Scroll
the
again.
best iteration into the Fantastic Four into the game. I thought it was ingenious. Remember, I told you I thought that was ingenious.
What would be cool with Super Scroll too is like now that he's a solo character, they made him more of a complete character. He'll be more of a complete character, so he'll have
his own stuff.
More Invisible Woman stuff, more things from all four of those guys. But the thing is, Super Scroll around the time came out when he was in a comic series, which was like the Annihilation that led to other stuff that led into
but it makes
like
sense because the Power
comics.
Girl movie, Scrolls.
But you don't know if the Super Scroll's gonna be in it.
It doesn't have to. I get it, but if
I'll
you
be way too hyped. If Super Scroll's in it, I'd be too hyped.
And
But
She-Hulk has
the
to
thing
be.
is, he can't because he's taking Super Scroll has all of the Fantastic Four
Can you imagine
powers
what he's gonna be?
and they're on my phone.
Oh my
and blah,
god,
blah,
it's so
blah.
funny. Oh, I don't have powers. Why? Because
I'm
rights.
just really strong because of rights. That's it. Just really strong.
So something that maybe it's because of the game, and I'm accepting as more like falling to your death, and you just accepting it. So now the roster is making a little bit more sense to me, and I wanted to tell you that a couple of days ago. So it makes sense to me. Yeah, they're picking one of the characters that are the most popular, like you mentioned previously in MvCu. They have Ultra and all that stuff. But they're making characters that look more movie-based, right? They're making characters that you will be like, oh, he could be in a movie.
Yeah.
Everybody, remember we were talking, there's a lot of normies in here.
There's like, for, like, what David's talking about, we had a conversation that I was saying that I know people are mad about the choices for the roster in the game, but the MCU part makes sense. Like, they're picking a lot of characters that are going to be in movies in the future for them for more advertising and stuff.
Yep.
But that the Capcom side, for me, feels like it's a miss.
It's extremely a miss because they don't have to be normies. They don't have to be limited, right? And something they mentioned, if they're gonna pick this returning characters, why is it stopping them from bringing somebody fresh and new? And I get it, it's time. But look at Jeddah. Jeddah has such a great feed, when he was shown because this is the first time he's seen in this type of 3D model, So it looks great. Look at Mega Man. This actually the new characters that have been shown, which is what? Jeddah, Mega Man, Gamora. Oh, sorry, from Capcom. Jeddah.
From Capcom. It's Jeddah.
Mm-hmm. Mega Man X.
Mega Man X. That's it, buddy.
That's it, right?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and those they haven't said nothing wrong about them, because they look good. They're new.
Yeah.
And that's a miss. That's a miss they're having, right? They bring in characters that might not look that good, and they taking space for others. While in the Marvel side, they just don't have X Men.
Yeah.
And to be honest, now I'm accepting. It's just they don't have X Men.
I honestly think like if Capcom side were hype, like if they had really hype stuff that they listened to all the fans, they gave you like 5 or 6 people that were like at the top of any kind of like leader like list for most wanted Capcom characters in a versus game for the next one. Like I think if that happened, the Marvel side wouldn't be such big of a deal because technically the Marvel side is a licensing thing. It's it's a legit reason. It's like a dude, you gotta shut the fuck up because you just can't fucking have these characters.
Yeah.
Get over it. Pick another fucking character for right now, right? Yep. But the Capcom side just kind of like
what happened there? Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that means that even in the Marvel side, they still have some misses. To be honest, because they have all these movies, right? They could bring people that have from these movies, right? Or TV shows or anything they have currently, right? That is extremely hype. So they have a lot of potential to still bring more stuff or DLCs that look like the movies, which is still gonna be popular. Which leads to the Star-Lord thing. They could definitely put Star-Lord. He's a very popular cat, and in the movies. Or I'm just happy they didn't put Baby Groot or something like that.
You know what I'm wondering? I know it's like, I don't know how much Marvel delves with the Netflix series, but I'm really surprised that we're not seeing like off the bat Luke Cage.
They're too mature.
Daredevil.
They're too mature.
Iron Fist, who was in a game.
Yeah.
Iron Fist, who I think he has really good neutral for this game.
Well, for anything, just fucking put him.
And Ghost Rider, like he's technically
Ghost
in it
Rider's
now.
in Agents of Shields.
Yes.
So it makes sense.
But he's in it. But the thing is, there's no Inhumans either.
No, but
not even
happened.
just
They're
one.
They're not popular enough in the MCU to be here.
Dude,
but then again, where's Loki? Right.
And that's the thing. Look, that's the thing. Hold on. You know how I am about Loki, right?
Me too, bro.
You brought him up. I'm not a fan.
I am a fan.
Of Loki. I'm not a fan of
Odin. Think about Odin. How good like Odin been?
Odin would be amazing. But anyway, I'm not a fan of Loki, but I know a lot of people would be. So if he's in it, I'll be like, all right, fine. Loki's in it. I don't care. I have other characters to pick, whatever.
I will be. I would love if it would be there. I think it would be cool. It would be cool. It would be new. It would be fresh. Oh, we have Thor and Loki together, like in that movie.
That's a cool thing about 2v2 because you could pair them up. You could pair up themes. You could have more thematical teams.
Yep, and looking at those teams, you know how in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 they have the Resident Evil team, which is Chris and all that stuff. They have the have the Street Fighter team, which is Ryu-Ken and Akuma and stuff like that. In this game, I was looking at some of the Capcom thing, and they have some teams there, right? So they have the X-Men.
Zero.
They have the Resident Evil with Chris and Nemesis.
Yes.
And they have another one.
Ryu-Chun.
Ryu-Chun. Oh, so here you go. Street Fighter, X-Men, and Resident Evil.
Firebrand and...
King Arthur.
And Arthur.
So that's 4 there. 4 different franchises there. Into the Capcom thing.
Jeddah and Morgan.
5. And Bionic Commando and...
And normal as fuck Hagar and Frank West.
Wait, Brian Commando, I guess. He's so out there. But yeah, so they have franchise there.
Yeah.
So in MvC, in the Marvel side, they also have franchise, right? They have Doctor Strange movie. They have Age of Ultron. With Hawkeye. Whatever. Hulk. Avenger. Captain America.
Yeah, basically all the Avengers. All the important ones.
Where's Scarlet Witch?
The kind of...
Where's Scarlet Witch?
The kind of...
I'm being a Capcom thing. I'm being a...
This isn't a game without Scarlet Witch. Come on,
so
guys.
So you can be like, where's my father? And you be like, oh, there you go. You want Magneto there?
They might have retconned their actual origin. I don't know if they're like his kids or whatever. Anyway, but the only oddball out there, I think, right now would be Nova because in the movies, he's not officially made yet.
But his core
There's a core.
So it makes sense.
There's a core.
That's why we'll be like, sprinkle it in there.
And Venom makes sense because Venom's having a movie. Black Panther makes sense because...
But then why Nova not be there then? Oh, no, because it's official movie from Venom, which is true. Which is true. Okay,
Yes.
that makes
And
sense.
then Black Panther's coming out, and Bucky's in his house. Bucky's deep buried in his
Bro, I
house
stopped. I forgot about that. Yo, that makes.
with no arm, just kind of like in cryo sleep in this dude's house.
I'm not even gonna. You think they're gonna make Bucky with no arm?
Nah, he was regular Bucky.
But why
'Cause-
have Bionic
no, because-
Commando and Bucky?
Well, he's gonna play different. He's gonna play different.
He has to.
You know
because
he's gonna
Bionic
play
Commando
different.
plays like looks like ass
He's
in this game.
he's gonna be the only character in the game that can catch Captain America's shield.
And then after that fight, it gives you a promotion ticket for the movie to rent it or something in PSN.
You get like extra points for like lore things you do with the characters from Marvel.
That would be amazing.
And then they tell you what movie it's from that you did it.
Achievement unlock.
And then
Avengers United.
then the whole thing would be like, yeah, this is how we get them to watch them again, buy the movies again.
But we make billions already with it. No, okay. Dude, I forgot about that. That's amazing. I forgot that he is in Wakanda.
Yeah.
And wow.
In his house. Not Wakanda. He's literally in his house.
In his fridge.
He's in his fridge.
That makes wow. That definitely caught me by surprise.
Another thing people were worried about was too, like, there's like a low amount of female characters.
What we got?
Chun-Li.
Chun-Li, Morrigan, Gamora, and
Miss Marvel.
four characters.
Cricket. That's it.
What?
I mean, if
Gamora, Miss Marvel, Chun-Li, and Morrigan. So 2 of each. Okay. When does she comes, bro?
She's not coming.
She comes, bro?
You know she has something like that, right? In Marvel 3,
Sorry for clapping. I got too hyped.
in Marvel 3, she says something to Phoenix,
Yeah,
right?
see me and Marvel. No,
Yeah.
to Deadpool.
It was it to Deadpool? I'll
Deadpool.
beat you up
Yeah, I'll
in
beat
Marvel
you here
4
even if it's
too.
Marvel 4, bro. Because then you could do
Are you
Hulk
gonna- are
and
you-
She-Hulk team.
Are you gonna start
Come on,
spamming?
man.
Are you
Yeah.
gonna start spamming a still
There.
of that
On the Twitter of
to
Capcom.
Capcom like once a week?
I can't beat the X-Men
Never
tweets.
forget.
I can never beat the X-Men tweets.
Oh,
on Capcom.
no.
No, but that would be great. Think about it. In team-based, like you said, there's a lot of cool synergy you can do. You could do, cousins, Hulk and She-Hulk.
Yeah.
You can go Hulkamania in that. crowd.
Dante and Virgil.
Or Dante and Sparda. Dante and Trish. Nero and Dante.
Well, I think what gets people more mad about how few characters there are in this game. It's because like every person put in is really important because you're not expecting Capcom to make the roster into like 80 characters. Like if that's the case because of this whole like let's say the esport thing that got leaked recently, like there's an esport thing that accidentally got released, so we know
Absolutely. I
officially
forgot about
that it's gonna be like people thought already that it was gonna be an esport anyway because that's how
Trending.
this whole like fighting game genre is leading towards.
Yeah.
Like companies know that they can make a profit off of it now, so they're pushing it more. So it doesn't surprise me, right? But if the esport is something that gives Capcom the ability to keep supporting the game, like 5 years time, if the game ends up having like 60, 70 characters, that'd be great. I know we'll be paying a shitload of money. Like we'll be paying like 5 times its worth because every DLC character is probably gonna be like $6-7 like individually, but I still think it's good for the game because it just keeps adding to
Yeah,
the
it keeps
game.
it alive. You mean like Street Fighter 5, right?
No, I mean like Overwatch.
That was a good one. You were prepared for this one. You were really prepared for this
But
one.
no, I don't mean like Overwatch because Overwatch is free.
Yes.
You pay one time.
And you get rewarded by being a little fan. But yeah, no, it makes sense. And also, like you mentioned, like picking a character, how it's such a tough decision, right? Because you pick one and 50 are people upset about it, right? But then again, I don't feel like it's that smart enough because if you're picking one character like X and Zero, which are part of a game, and it's a 2v2 game, and you're picking one character and he's single out, he feels like the odd man out. Because right now, I'm not saying I don't know who, but we have Bionic Commando once again. who he's teaming up with. If you want to go in theory, we have Strider, who he's teaming up with.
Well, one of the names. Remember in the trailer there was that wizard dude? There was a wizard dude in the trailer. I forgot his name, but he's technically a part of Strider's. Like, he's a boss in Strider's world, right?
Okay, so that makes sense.
So, he was in a zip file too, like the name.
Okay.
It could have just been because he's just in the story mode doing stuff. Or he could be a character coming out sometime in the future.
That would be very lazy that the reason they picked those characters in their crappy story is because that character is theirs, you know? Oh, well, they were going to head over here and he got dragged into this and now he's here. When that could have been another person that got teamed up with somebody cooler, right? Like Bionic Commando and Captain Commando. And you got the Commando team. Look at that. Look at how simple. Look at how simple that is.
Don't get me hyped.
And that
that was one of my mains. Don't get me hyped.
And that would be amazing. Now we have... I like that we have Jeddah and Morrigan instead of Morrigan and Dimitri. We have seen many times before, and we have Frank West, and once again Frank West and who?
Like, it'd be cool, like if and when we get X-Men, right? Like, let's say if they're holding out on Deadpool for the Deadpool movie, it'd be really dope to get Cable too. Cable and Deadpool, a Cable Deadpool, like, 2-pack character DLC.
That would be so good. That would be fantastic.
Or Domino.
Yeah, whichever. There's so many. They can pick whatever.
Or like a 3-pack. Just put them all in. Like, stuff them in there. We need girls. Stuff them in the game. There.
Yeah, we definitely need girls. So if you would pick 2 more girls, one for Capcom, one for Marvel, who would it have been?
Well, you know my Marvel pick.
No, I don't.
The Magic.
Yes.
With a K.
But remember, we can't do X-Men. So once again.
That is my pick.
So okay. So who would be from Capcom?
Capcom girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have one. Okay. I don't have. I can't think of one like on the spot. I don't want to like just have silence for like 5 minutes until I go, aha, this one.
Peach. I mean, because I made heroes, man.
I mean, if Monster Hunter is a girl, that'd be cool.
That's what I was gonna lead to. So get out of my head.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say She-Hulk. I definitely want She-Hulk. I don't give a crap what anybody says.
That was one of his mains, guys.
Yes, I would definitely want She-Hulk and Marvel. And even if people go, She-Hulk, there's many other characters. Yes, I want She-Hulk. Fuck it, because it goes with Hulk and it makes sense. And then in Capcom...
And there's down motions in this game.
And that she would be all her... And then it won't be that. We have to go back for no reason.
They give her Shoryukens for her run-stop shit.
Yep. And for Capcom, I was going to say a Monster Hunter character that you could change to a female version of them. Like in the game. You could either pick the male version or the female version. Look how simple that is.
You know what would be crazy? It's not going to happen, David. Don't get hyped. You know how many weapons are in Monster Hunter, right?
Yeah.
Having a female and male Monster Hunter with
different weapons,
with like 3 sets, like like if she she can have the arrows and he'll have the gun.
Yeah.
He'll have like the big sword. She'll have the dual wield.
Stop.
I'll stop there because you're getting too much.
That's too good, bro. I broke the rubber band. So good. But yeah, that would be my pick, and I think that's something simple. We definitely want more females into this game. So.
But again, like, we're saying this stuff, and this is, again, where it's a lose-lose for Capcom. Yeah. We're saying this stuff about the characters we would prefer. There's so many people out there that will be like, I don't give a shit about She-Hulk.
Females in general.
Yeah, I just want this to be a all-out sausage party, like Dragon Ball Fighters. Yeah. If there's nothing but sausage in it like that game, I'm not buying it.
That's right.
Right. So it's like one of those, like, no matter how much people would... They just kind of got to get over it. They kind of, like... They can't put so much emphasis on what characters are in it because it's unrealistic to just go like, well, I guess this is a good game, but where's...
It doesn't have Cammy. Where's Guile?
Where's Amingo? Like...
The return of Amingo.
I need him in the game. Like, I haven't bought one because he hasn't come out in the last one.
That's right. And so September 18th, and the question of the $1 million, are you getting MvCi?
I don't know, because I brought this up to you.
Why are you so
hostile? I'm upset.
You're so hostile.
I'm upset because you're in the way of me buying these pre-ordered
for the
DLC costumes just to have for characters I'm not gonna play with.
Because I'm buying it. If it comes early, I'm buying it. If the game comes out earlier than anywhere else, I'm getting that game.
Sir, can I just remind you that we're broke, and it is a good idea to split a $90 purchase, $45 each, so we could.
I took the day off already.
Okay.
So we need to have this game no matter what.
So that we can
play it.
Not have to spend extra money.
Spend $100
in
something
the future for the DLC we know we're gonna buy.
Yeah, for She-Hulk and our Star.
Oh my god.
Like
do you have anything like for right now for how the game's going, right? I don't know what triggered you just because I wasn't looking at you moving. Oh, like I said, his level 3? No thanks. I'll explain in a second, guys, about my Star-Lord problem. For the game right now, is there anything you would like to see that you've seen gameplay-wise or aesthetically or whatever that you would hope that they get to before release?
Yes. Mentioning what the online features are going to be for the game. Lobby or team attack. I mean, team battles. Any... I'm sorry, it's a lobby. I want to start our thing. Team battles. Online lobby. Because in Marvel 1... Marvel vs. Capcom 3, sorry. It was only 1v1. They didn't have those lobbies. And that was... You were like, what? That's ridiculous. And then ultimately they had the lobby. So I want to see what this game is gonna have that's gonna entertain me. Is it gonna be only local for 4 people? Is it gonna be online for people? You know, what is it gonna be? I really want to see them fixing that, or at least letting us know what it's gonna be for that. That would be for me.
Well, so far, they've confirmed an arcade, training, a mission, story mode, and a ranked and casual, and a spectator mode, and world rankings. Yeah. For online. That's all bare bones like they are, but we don't know how it's still gonna work.
It could still be 1v1.
And I told you a long time ago that that's gonna be like a huge the network part of it, the online play. Part, the net play is gonna be a huge part of what makes or break this game.
Yep, absolutely. Tekken fix their stuff, Injustice rehaul their stuff, Guilty Gear works,
and back to the whole we mentioned it for a second, but there was a leak on the business proposal for esports that a Capcom guy wanted to show another Capcom guy. He accidentally uploaded it to YouTube for everybody to see instead of making it a private video. And a lot of people saw what they were expecting, more or less how their esports thing was supposed to go, right? Yeah. Anyway, That was
John D. from Capcom.
Yeah, I don't really care about the specifics of that, but... One of the main points they put in there that was like, okay, if that's how you're going to play this, you guys don't have a good history of having good netcode since, like, Street Fighter 4, you know what I mean? Like, everything they've come out afterward has had spotty netcode.
Shitty netcode.
So, 14, I think, 14 of their qualifying things in the for this tour for their Capcom Pro Tour for Marvel is gonna be based off they're gonna have 14 events that are online only.
Okay.
There's gonna be a lot of online only stuff for this game.
Like how NetherRealm does. It does the online tournaments and they actually have money.
Capcom's had a couple more of them for Street Fighter this year, but there's even with ones that run well, people would tell you people that organize those things tell you there's always going to be hiccups. Yep. So they need that shit to be on point. 100%.
Well, maybe that's why the game looks so shitty. You got to be hopeful, right?
But the thing is, this is why I think it's a rush job, because this game is, inconsistently shitty. There's good stuff, there's bad stuff, and it's just all over the place. It's not You're right. It's not it's not consistent even on,
It's shitty overall.
Yeah, it's not shitty overall. It's just inconsistent. With
artwork, with everything.
Yeah, for instance, one thing that looks like a rush job to me with the game is just I complain about it all the time. It's when the character gets hit on their last hit and they die.
What happens?
Whether if it's a super, whether if it's a hard hit, or a jab. This is the one this is when I noticed, because they're off of jabs. Let's say what was it I forgot which Street Fighter started it, but Guy gets hit with a jab and he crumples down
The third
because
strike.
it's a jab.
That's Street Fighter
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, and it's not like he got hit by something crazy, so he didn't. He doesn't go flying, or the character doesn't do anything like that. But if you get hit by a jab, their character flies 50 feet up in the air, screams at the top of their lungs.
It's really loud.
Like if it was like if there was a world record for hardest stub toe, like if they just broke it and they it's just like it's a little like it's this those are one of those things that are like that's a polished thing. That's somebody going that's one of those misses where it's just like, all right, this is how they die. We can't spend any more time on that. This is how they die. Let's go. Keep it moving. Let's keep it going. Like it's little things like that.
I agree, because the same thing with the artwork of it and the style and everything is some inconsistency of it. So I definitely do agree with that. But we're gonna see, right, in release date, everything's gonna be changed. We're gonna wake up from this dream and we're gonna have Infinite in our life, man.
Well, I think like I played the story demo again today, right?
Okay.
The one that got critical acclaim.
It was interesting.
And I honestly, like, when I started really, like, because I've been looking at all the combo videos people do and all the gameplay, but I'm not really too focused on it because I don't know what's going to change by the time the game comes out.
Absolutely.
But I actually gave it an honest try this time today with my arcade stick, not on pad like I did the first time, just going, man, fucking game. And it... Even with the animations, like I had mentioned before, the animations remind me of KOF 14's animations, which aren't that great. Like, to me, it feels like, this is dated. It's a little dated for
Could
now.
have been better.
I feel like it, like, when we learn how to play the game, no matter how diverse the game is going to be, like, knowing all of the mechanics available to us, this game's gonna be ridiculous.
I know, and it's gonna be. You're gonna play it.
I feel it.
I don't give a shit. You're gonna play the second game, and we're gonna be in there.
Well, the reason I stopped the other one is because I didn't like where it was going. I didn't like how how projectile based it was. How I remember there was this one guy. Damn, I forgot what game he was referencing, but he was so mad about. I think it was Injustice 1. Like, he was so mad about Injustice 1 and all these projectiles and stuff, and he was pushing Marvel, and I'm like, dude. Every grand finals has been Morgan spamming the shit out of people with Doom missiles and blah blah blah. He didn't respond to me because he shut up, and it was just one of those, like, you could tell he just had a shut up, but I still like that game better, like, kind of like response.
Yeah, no, definitely, and this one it just looks interesting. It looks fresh. Once again, it looks like what Marvel 3 was going for in terms of the battle system and everything. Something fresh, something new. Everything else doesn't seem up to par, so that's what I'm looking for. Just the gameplay. I want to go into the lab and I want to play this game. That's what I want to do. And we're going to see that on September 19 or 18, whenever the hell it comes out in my hands. And we'll be in there.
A couple things. I made some notes. A couple things that randomly pop in my head sometimes when I think of the game.
Okay.
Some things I'd like to see.
Lettuce.
I'd like to see just a character made out of lettuce, and he throws other kinds of food products at you. No. Random stuff. This is completely random out of nowhere. Because I write it down when it pops into my head when I'm, like, looking at footage and stuff.
Okay.
I would like to see Jill's MvC 2 iteration, but...
The updated version.
But not updated. Just, like, if they could update it, yes, but put on another character. Like, they still keep Jill how they... Like, if they release Jill, they keep her how she was in UMVC, so they can still have that kind of character. But maybe give the Jill version to, like, Rebecca Chambers, or, like, to an Ada Wong, or, like, to somebody else. Like,
that'll be good.
Just to kind of keep that kind of playstyle that people that like that function, those functions on the character.
Function number 73?
Yeah. And still have the newer one that maybe, like, people... Because there are people that played that character, just that she wasn't as strong as the other one. She was, like, hard to play for that game.
Yeah.
She wasn't as accessible.
Choosing down.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Leon with Chris or something like that.
Yes. And I want to... If they put in the Dino Crisis girl that people want...
Regina.
I didn't get to play that game, so I don't know how she plays. How would she play?
It's a survival game, so she will play like any Resident Evil character. Like, she could have replaced Chris. Easy. She could have been the new face
Is there any kind of mechanic? Because I like what Capcom does with their characters. Like they have to be creative, like they have to be creative with Frank West. They had to be creative with like Phoenix Wright. Like that's the fun part about the Capcom side.
That game was literally a Resident Evil clone, but with dinosaurs. Which is still scary, right? A big ass raptor trying to chop your head and eat you. So the gameplay's the same.
So, one thing I want added: if she's ever in the game, I want an Easter egg of, like, if she has like a level 3 super and there's a fucking T-Rex comes out.
Absolutely.
Every now and then, the T-Rex from Red Earth comes out.
With the little hands.
Of course.
That would be godlike. That would be godlike.
But it'd be like, I randomly thought of that as like, put fucking, like, make it feel like, and the reason I came up with that in my head is because people were like, it's one of those people like, why don't we have Red Earth characters?
So stupid, like nobody likes it.
And that game had like 4 characters to choose from.
Garbage. Stop.
It might not be garbage. I never played it myself. It might be really good.
The characters?
Well, the character. I think I like the character. There's Tessa, the witch. There's the dinosaur with the little hands. I love pressing jab with that character.
But that would be a great idea, absolutely. That would be a better skin for a character and a new fresh face, and just have the move that you like. That's fine. That's totally fine.
I'm confused about why Asura is not in it.
100%. Or Godhand.
And him, because they're the more fighting-based characters they got that.
And more that casually people know them because of how exaggerated they are. They don't even need to know the whole game. They know some stuff because it's exaggerated. And people, it's eye candy.
And honestly, like, what drew me to Jin Saotome before I knew who he was in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is because he was just fucking hype as hell. Yeah. He was yelling. Like, he was, like, yelling and angry and just, like he's just so, like... I feel like it's, like, this... Like, if Asura comes out, even if a little boy doesn't know who he is, but that character's, like, just pumped and has these hype moves.
All the time.
And
he drinks fucking Red Bull in the middle of the fight.
I think Capcom has to think more, a little less about what Capcom titles will correlate to what's coming out later, and more on, like, just fan service.
What they have.
Like, even if some guy was like, people want Asura, and then the other corporate guy's going, we don't have any plans for that in the future. Why would we put that out? Like, I hope that's not the reason why certain characters aren't making.
Well, they don't have a Bionic Commando game either. Oh, but we have the character palette already. Put in there, So that type of.
But that one, I think, honestly, I feel like the Bionic Commando one was more like, he's pretty unique. He's zipping around.
Put the classic Bionic Commando. The one that looks like Captain Commando.
He was in there. In Marvel vs. Capcom 3 as a skin.
But why he's not here? Put that one. That would be funny. Whoa, what happened to Bionic? No, this is the new one. Don't worry. That's it. Don't even explain why he's like that. Fuck it.
Well, I mean, I think this Bionic Commando was probably chosen because he looks more culturally diverse. He's not just another white guy. He's got like dreads, kind of tan skin, but he's probably still white. I don't know the story, but it's just like he looks a little bit more diverse. Let the guys who have ponytails and dreads let it rock with the Bionic Commando.
Ponytails in this game, but that'd be great. I think that idea would be fantastic. We should at least like the whole Leon Chris type of thing, And, like, why have Nemesis and not Wesker when Wesker was 1,000 times more popular?
Honestly, Nemesis was the biggest surprise for me. It was one of those, like, like that gif where the dude's going, like, he opens his eyes like, well, Nemesis, huh?
Who took Magneto's place? You?
Like, Nemesis, I thought, like, it would be like, they re-released the game again with, like, more characters, and Nemesis is in it. Yeah, remember him? He's in it. I didn't expect, like, Nemesis to be in the initial roster at all. Like, he was the biggest surprise.
Me neither. It just doesn't make sense.
Because Wesker, in his own, he's unique, too.
Wesker is an icon. Literally an icon, the whole Resident Evil, and the whole franchise that make them money. And, they like to shit on their own shit and then eat it. Ali style, my dog.
Or, like... How would you feel if they put Wesker's son?
Even better.
Because I'm thinking more. What's the most
Updated.
current thing?
Yeah, they can do that. And that guy fights all punching thing too, and he's supernaturally fast. And people be like, who is that? That's Wesker's son. Oh, and he has a wink that says something about my dad and punches the screen and it breaks. That's it. Think about edgy. Done. Done.
You know what would have been a cool level 3 for Chris Redfield? Is if like a boulder comes out of nowhere
And he punches
and he punches through it to get to you.
Oh, better. The boulder falls, right? He's trying to save you, so he's punching you through the boulder to save you. You know how he cannot let nobody die. That would be great. Anything else you got for MvCi?
No, I'm pretty good. Like, let's see. There's one like also in Gamescom. Like we mentioned before, is the last possible time probably that Capcom will have
A demonstration.
to demo the game and
Mhm.
show what they got. Most likely the last
Open doors, I would say.
Yeah, the last gem that hasn't been
Which one?
released,
Soul.
the Soul Gem. I would assume that would be where they would release like the information on how that one works.
What about if they don't release the gem until the Black Panther movie comes out? Because that's when they're supposedly gonna release the gem.
I highly doubt it.
Oh, with
but
Bucky. Bucky would be released there. But
imagine
that's when
if
Bucky
it-
gets released.
Maybe. It could be.
Stop.
It could be. Like, if he's in the movie, why not? It's funny because, like, I think I'd be a scumbag businessman because, like, people are complaining about the characters they got in the game. And let's say all these characters that people want are coming out in DLC in the next 3 years, right?
Okay.
X-Men are coming out. Like, all the coolest characters are coming out. And, you know, everybody's set behind a paywall. If I'm in that board meeting, I'm going, yeah, put fucking Nemesis in the initial roster. Put Arthur. Put Firebrand. And these guys, they'll definitely sell. Put them behind a paywall so people can pay.
No, absolutely. Which is, I was gonna say as my closing statement for that. It feels like exactly what you said, that the roster they have is comparable enough in some sense, but leaving you hungry. So you're starving now, and whatever they feed you, you're gonna eat.
It's
it.
like 10 times better.
And
Yeah.
you're gonna eat it.
Yeah.
That is my Capcom 2 cents. Cling.
So yes, back to the Soul Gem. Soul Gem was actually rumored to most likely be a gem that has a passive life steal, and could possibly revive a teammate.
At 50% health.
Yes, that is a potential thing. If we look back to the original game when gems were out, the Soul Gem
Still health.
had just health regeneration.
Yeah, and has an ability that it locks on you and it steals your health.
Yeah. So, you know, it makes sense why that would be a rumor, why it would make sense.
It makes sense why the character stays in the floor after the death.
Yeah, that does make sense.
That's why Mega Man doesn't explode
Yeah.
or anything like that.
And people are mad about that.
Yeah, but maybe it's a
And
reason.
Capcom,
Goes like, huh? You know, I'm too
man.
smart for you. Oh my god, stop it, Capcom. Go back to cleaning. The janitor.
Yeah, that's all. Pretty much all I got to say. Like, honestly, like, there's so many things about the game that people can say that are not in a good light, but you and I, it's because there's a passion behind it that we
Too
want
much.
it to be the best thing that ever existed for
Absolutely.
the community. And if anybody's still interested in the game, we are not paid for by Capcom
At all.
or Marvel, but if you want to play the game, is it coming out for Steam, David? Do you know? Is it a Steam? Is it just PS4 or Xbox?
Can I afford it?
So just PS4 and Xbox One. That's what it's coming out for. Retail price, $59.99. If you pre-order it, you're gonna get 2 premium skins
Which you want?
for Thor and Ryu.
Okay. Oh, the Evil Ryu?
Yeah,
Nice.
Evil Ryu and Battle Thor, whatever.
Hosbando Tor.
Yes. Deluxe edition, which is what I'm trying to get David to buy with me, is gonna be $89.99.
What do we get?
We get the full game character pass, so we're gonna get all 6 DLC characters.
So we get a full roster? That's what you're saying?
So we're gonna get Sigma, right? We just gotta pay.
Are we gonna get Ultron Sigma?
I don't know. He might be free.
He's not even
He might
part
be
of the
free.
game.
He might be free. Maybe he's a mode.
Oh boy.
And then we get 4 premium skins, which is the Thor Ryu one, and added to that will be Hulk and Mega Man X.
So does that include that the DLC characters that we get also have skins and we're gonna get them for free?
It didn't mention anything about skins. Why would we get something that nobody mentioned? Anyway, and the last option you can get is the collector's edition, which goes for $200. But before you guys go nuts, it comes for that. It comes with. It comes with.
Why you can't finish it?
I'm laughing because I'm laughing at I gotta. It's like, it has cool stuff in it, right? But it's a part of the deal. Like when you look at the picture that it has, it says premium packaging. Like if the box you get it in fucking matters after you take it all out, right?
Rip it apart.
Like, oh, cool, steel case. Ooh. If I could just get a regular game and not have premium packaging, I'll take $50 off. I don't need like.
Me too.
But it comes with a casing with all the Infinity Stones, like replicas. They're not the real ones, guys. You can't. Don't go try.
And be like, see this.
Comes with all 6 Infinity Stones in a case, a nice little fancy case. All the Infinity Stones have a LED thingy to it, so they like light up. And it's gonna come with 4 character diorama type of statues. One is Chun-Li, not with Chun-Li face.
Good.
She actually looks like herself.
A human being.
Yeah. You got Mega Man X, you got Captain Marvel and Iron Man, which they look pretty detailed. Like they look pretty good.
What I like about that is there's no Ryu statue.
Yeah.
I like it. Actually like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, Ryu came out for Street Fighter 5.
I forgot about it.
Hey, why didn't
too
we
late,
put
too
Ryu?
late. Go, wrap it up.
keep going. Let's. Who's that character? Who's that blue thing? That's Mega Man. Who? Come on, Capcom. You remember? You put him in a game. You know who he is now.
And that's our game.
Yeah. Well,
we're gonna definitely get that game. So.
Well, guys, if all goes well, Double KO will be doing certain things on our YouTube for Infinite in the future. We don't have many details on what exactly we're planning, but we know we're planning something.
So we're gonna do a Capcom on you guys.
We're gonna pull a Capcom. On our social media, we'll have silhouettes of David and I, and maybe other people. You know, like to see what's to promote it, but not really tell you what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah. So send us out, David.
Yep. So guys, always remember to subscribe, follow, and like on our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter page. Double KO Radio, guys. See you next time.
David, I know you.
Oh,
I know you. I forgot one thing.
Okay, what happened?
I forgot. I had in the notes. Shit. Hold on. Wait. Let me get to my notes. I have one last question.
Oh my god.
When's Marvel?
Now.
Double KO.